It is the 26th of the 10th, 2011, and this is today's climate change update. I'm going to start tonight's video on a little what's up Mr. Too Tough sent me this morning as I picked it up. Apparently on the 28th, and if that date doesn't ring any bells for anyone, you might want to do a little homework. There's supposed to be a global strike called for on the Occupy movement. And basically, you're supposed to turn off your electricity, don't use the internet, don't go shopping, blah, blah, blah. I will attach the video to that below, and if you choose to support that, the 28th should be an interesting day for everyone. Well, let's start. Earth changes Scott.net tonight. Skylights up red and green as reports of fireballs entering atmosphere conflict with the CME Northern Lights reports from NASA spaceweather.com. Apparently, some reports of meteor event in North and South Carolina, as well as Georgia, are lighting up the internet as large parts of central and eastern United States witness green and red lights across the sky from what was an apparent CME hit. And apparently the lights were seen as far south as Arkansas, including the state of Iowa, which I did not see them. It happened at, I think they were saying it was like 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's the next story. Red night aurora bursts over U.S. skies. And thousands affected by flooding in Mexico. Several rivers in southeastern Mexico spilled over their banks in recent days. And has affected up to 90,000 residents. And of course that was their hurricane that rolled through while it was still a tropical storm. Costa Rica, 4.8 quake shakes around the Barva volcano. And so we have yet another volcano rumbling up in Costa Rica area. I believe they have 2 or 3 going on right now. Mounting crisis, 1/3 of Thailand now underwater. And obviously they've declared a state of emergency. And worst flooding in 50 years, they're saying. Of course, Rina becomes a 17th hurricane this season, and that's the one where the reports from flooding in southern Mexico. Of course, Central America is dealing with this hurricane that just it's been meandering around there for several days. 20 million tons of tsunami debris is closing in on Hawaii. Televisions, fridges, and furniture pieces of heading for Hawaii as a huge amount of debris from Japan's earthquake sails across the Pacific. Up to 20 million tons of debris from the earthquake in March is traveling faster than expected and could reach the U.S. West Coast in 3 years. And of course, they had the Russian ship that went out there. They had film out where they were pulling boats out of the water and whatnot. What they're not telling you is this tsunami debris is radioactive. And it's been in radioactive water, which means that radioactive water is going to reach Hawaii rather shortly. So a heads up on what's going on out of Fukushima. And then of course Mount Etna began to erupt again, sending flames into the sky over Sicily, and they have a video on that. Over to the extinction protocol. The earthquake from Turkey death toll rises drastically as rescuers shift through debris. They're recording 459 dead. I'm sure it'll be much more than that when they were done with this. The devastation videos that are coming out of Turkey are pretty eye-opening. 400-meter wide asteroid to make pass by Earth. And 1,300-foot wide asteroid, which is more than 1.5 times the length of a soccer pitch, will pass within 0.85 lunar distance from Earth on November 8th and 9th. Happens all the time. They just happen to catch this big one, and they say it's kind of spherical in nature, dark rock. And there's the aurora, Costa Rica, Thailand. And of course, after the revolution, interim leader to bring Sharian law to Libya. So, good luck, Libya. Central bank and Shia law. You're just... Whew. And the Vatican calls for the establishment of a central world bank. And if that doesn't tell you it's corrupt all the way to the top, nothing will. Over to the RSOE today, we have a snowstorm coming out of Wyoming, Denver. They're saying they're getting up to 1.5 feet, 2 feet of snow. Just wintertime in the Rockies. Flash flooding in Italy. They've had some severe rains, some rivers going over their banks. Flooding in Ireland. They've had extensive rain, and they were talking about an unusual high tide, which is making the flooding worse. Just sustained rain, constant going on in the Ireland area. And that is about on the climate change. I did want to share one Fukushima story with you, and of course you should be paying extreme attention to this. I will attach some update videos that some outstanding YouTube channels have been putting out, of course, and being able to keep you up to date what's going on. And where is that? Obviously worrying. New estimate says Fukushima released far more radiation than Japan claims. The government didn't count what went over the Pacific. Nobody's counting what's went over the Pacific. So heads up, enjoy while you can, and I'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks.